The first thing we do is let me draw a curve. I mean, I want to make a BG. So let me just go to my side view. I think I could go here. And I can just take curves, EP curve, should be cubic. Then you might know about loft. I select the first curve, then shift select the second curve. Then I go to my surfaces. I have a loft. Okay, you know loft, right? So there's nothing to say about it. So I just go there. Let this be NURBS, and we got to go there. Because if you're trying to create a surface and bend and do this, you not get such a perfect strike kind of thing. So I prefer to go with that. Let me deselect this one, the ridge. And before you put your headphone or camera there, you need it's a product lighting. So we need to create a place, a platform to keep the product. So maybe I can just go to my poly modeling. I can take PR. Then in that, has some caps. Let me just put a offset edge loop. Offset edge loop in the sense you would get the edges around both the sides. Offset edge loop. Just move the pure point to the bottom. Then let me just create a new camera then. Go for panels, perspective, a new camera. Guys, do you have any doubts until this?
No, sir.
Great. Now go to your panels, perspective, and a new one. Now we got a new camera. How would I say that? Because you can see at the bottom that it says perspective 1. So I think I can go to my, I just select this one. This, when you click this, the camera properties will be selected. So, I mean, this is third camera and this is this camera properties, the third one. Maybe I don't need the properties, but so this will be the render view of my 3D model. So this is a render view of it like for the 3D model. Maybe, yeah. Then let me go to my render settings by clicking this gear wheel, the tooth wheel, and set your render settings. It's 640 by 480. Then that's it. Image format, that's okay with me. I don't have an issue now. Okay, now the first thing we do is we need to fix this bookmark, right? So before that, I would like to click this button. This is a grid. The next to that, you have a film gate. Click the film gate. It will show you the rendered view. And the next to that, you'll be having the resolution gate. It will tell you the resolution, how much we have applied to this. Okay. So here we have 640 by 480. It shares that. Now, next to it, we need to set the bookmark now. So let's go to view. Say lab2 class and view bookmarks, edit bookmark, and this is render, apply to shelf, close. Now this is a render. You can just go anyway and just click. It'll come back to normal stage. Let me just save this file. Save scene as. Okay. Okay, tell me how many of you don't have a laptop for this class? How many of you don't have a laptop for this class? Do all of you have a laptop? Great.
Yes, sir.
Fine. So it's working now. Now the next thing I do is let me just right click here, or I think, or I can just directly go to the tooth wheel shelf editor. Let's select the last button, because in this shelf, fourth one is ours. So under allowed to shelf and the fourth one, I select, I just name this label as render, and the icon color, I want this to be green. Okay, the text color is green, and also you can change this icon if you wish. Anyway, we don't need that, but fine. It is done now. Now we need to select the open Arnold render. We don't have any light in the scene as of now. So let's create a light. And before we go any further, I just want to do one more thing, which is I want to split this screen. One is the perspective side, another is the top view. So I can just right click here, then I go with two panes side by side. Okay, now, sorry, two panes side by side. Look at that. So I got a top view now, and also I got a perspective view. There's a perspective view, I mean, on the render view, and this is the top view. And this top view, I want to turn the grid off, and the wireframe on shaded is on in the top view. Okay, I turn the grid off, then I turned on the wireframe on shaded. And the next thing we do is I want to take this window separately. Go to panels, we have a tab of copy. Go to panels menu, we have a tab of copy. You can, once you click that, that panel will be separated. So take a tab of copy. Now Yeah, now I know what is the scene. But why do we need this? Because once when I create the lights, I want to know how the lights are functioning. I want to if you want to select the light, it has to be selected properly. So I need this lights to be selected. So I need a top view as a references. Okay. Now what? Let's minimize this. Now I would like to go back to the previous view, or you can just click this perspective. Okay. Now you have two windows. One is the top view, and there is a render view. Okay. Now I could use this to work. So the next thing is I have to create the light. So I'll just minimize this top view. This is a product lighting. Guys, when you look into the product lighting, mostly it will be like you have to light the entire product. It's not like you have to show only the rim light, you have to show only that part or this part. The product lighting says about you have to light the entire 3D model. That's what product lighting is all about. So let me just create Arnold lights, and I have a area light. Now look at this, I have area light. I just scale this to the size of my 3D model. Let me render this. Let me put this light to the right side. So I want to rotate from the 90-degree angle. Then I just move it to the right side. Let's go to the properties of this light. This is just one area light part. Let's go to the properties of this light. And here I just give, look at this. The normalize is on by default. Let's turn this off. Disable the normalize. Once you disable the normalize, you would get to see the 3D model, which is well lit there. So I go above a little bit and let me introduce the exposure, maybe to 3 or 4. I go with this. I think I go with the 4. 5 would be bleaching. So let's go with the 4 number. I think I can bring it a little down, and I can increase intensity. Maybe 1.5, that would work. So here I change the camera to perspective 1. Let me just choose this. Yeah. It's no matter whichever screen you are. All it matters is the render view which you select inside the Arnold render view here. Okay. So here I have that light. The intensity is 1.5 and the exposure is 2.6 something, which is given there. And let me just scroll down to see what's there. It mentions as cast volumetric shadows. If we disable that, then this object will not emit any light. So, I mean, it will not emit any shadows. So let this cast volumetric shadows. I need shadows there. Okay. Now this is one light. Don't worry, we can change this if it is needed. Now let me just duplicate this light, go to the other side, and let's make this minus 90. Now look at that. We created another light which is of minus 90. Fine. Now we have two lights, and when from this light I don't want any shadows, so I can even disable the shadows like cast shadows. Select this light, second light which you created, then disable the cast shadows and cast volumetric shadows. Okay. So The next thing we have to do is see, I lit both the sides now. Let me just duplicate this light again. We create another light at the top. But the only thing is you need to understand how much light you want for this 3D model. Okay, you shouldn't go beyond the numbers. Or if you remember, we already discussed about using the plugin for lighting. Remember that? You could use that to find out whether the lighting is perfect or not. Let me select the light at the top. Go to this light's properties and disable the cast shadows and cost volumetric shadows. Now look at that, there's no shadows at the bottom. Okay. So for this BG, we can change this BG into a gray or a black or something like that. Maybe let me go to my assign new material for the background, and let me choose a Lambert. So it should be like this. Okay, because I prefer to go with a object without any reflection or specularity. So I'm okay with this color. Let me go here. Okay, and this object needs to be visible. This object needs to be visible there. Maybe you can just assign new material, then apply another Lambert. Okay, we have three lightings here. And if you feel like the any of the three lighting, the intensity is too high or something, you could reduce that. You can go there, you can reduce the exposure, you can reduce the intensity, you could do something. It would work. So this is a product lighting. In some cases, in few cases, people would use a light from the bottom also. Let me just show you that. In some cases, people used to light the object from the bottom too. Okay. So when you put a light at the bottom, what you would get is you would able to see all the objects which are beneath the 3D model. Okay. So this would happen when they are making when they're making a design for or when they make a product design for any automobiles, they would use it, and for any jewelry, they would use these kind of techniques. Okay, mostly, and for because we need a reflector. Unless we need a reflector to reflect the light which falls on the ground back to the 3D model. So either you should use a reflector, or you can go with the light at the bottom here. Okay, that is one. And another thing is, with addition to that, you can just create a backlight to showcase you separately or the BG separately. One 180. Let me just put this light back. Okay, so this is how your product lighting has to be. And if you want to change the background color, you can change the background color. You can either change the color of the background itself, or you can use a light to change the color. Okay, it's anything is up to you. So this is a product lighting. And is this over? Is this how we do? No, there's one more thing we need to do. When you select this, when you select a 3D, what do you call this? The 3D turntable, okay, and press F. You can even animate this also. But anyway, I don't want you to, I don't want to confuse you with animation many things. There. Look at this. It's rendering 70%, 80%. It's not a model. It's a just downloaded model from net. And look at the quality of render that you may get from this. It's all because of the shader and texturing that they have done with this. So just take you to now look at the product lighting here. So when you look at the product lighting, you may get this as, look at this. So you'll be having see, you'll be having a backlight, two backlights we have, and we have one key light there, and there's a reflector there. Okay, so it is not something like you can stick to one idea, one principle to light this CG render. Okay, you have to follow many ideas, and you can decide anything on your own. So this is two background light here, and there is one key light there, and reflector will be there for that. So similarly, you can have even as many number of lights. Let me go here. Even you can create as many number of lights, but ensure that if it is automobile, then the lighting should be, you can have it n number of objects. Whereas this is a product lighting and it is happening inside a studio. That's what is shown here. Inside a studio it is happening. So whenever it comes to a product lighting, they all do this in an interior room, in an interior room structure, and the lighting setup would be like this. Only then you could be able to achieve all the detail of the 3D model. And guys, look here. This is a robot model, so it looks like this. What if your model is different? And when I say different, what is this different? I'll tell you now. Let me select this 3D model, and let me go to the material properties. Right click material properties, and here you could see it's a Fong material. So it's a Fong material, so you have option like this. If it is instead of Fong, if it is a different material, then it have a different impact here. Look at this. We have translucence. When you increase your translucence, the object will be entirely different. It will be like a candle or like a radium kind of material it would give. Okay. Then we have a specular color which already mapped, and we have reflectivity. Look at the reflectivity here. Now it's reflecting everything around this 3D model. Now it turned into a chrome or like a metal or like a glass. So this is what happens when you increase the reflectivity of any object. So let it be a 0 reflectivity. Then we have ray trace options. You can also find out what is inside this. You can also check that. Yeah. And what if instead of this, I go with some other material or texture? So instead of form, if I click this and if I choose an AI standard surface, okay, then it would have a different impact there. So now let me select this one, the object around here. Then I can right click, I go for assign new material, then Arnold, then I have an AI standard surface. Now here under the presets, I can select this however I want. Let me go to this and make as a chrome, like chrome metal, or you can click this and go with the glass. Okay, so it's purely depends upon the objects you use. So see, if you're using a glass material, if your object has too much of glasses, then you should reduce your exposure too much. Okay, you should reduce your exposure, then it would be reflected properly. Okay. Yeah, guys, if you ask me, sir, is this how they light, sir? Yes, exactly. But this is how they light because they don't want to miss any detail in the 3D model. That's the reason they do this. Okay, they don't want to miss anything. And look at this, all this CG product lighting would be inside the rooms. It's not outside the room. Everything will be inside the rooms. So that's what happens. You can see, look at the products that you can light, like a shoe or or a cosmetic products or a watch. Look at everything there: automobile, perfumes, wine, whiskey, and camera. And there are many objects there, even for the clothes, and many things are there. All are interior based lighting part. And look at the lighting here. It will be having one or two fill lights, then a product light will be there. A key light will be there. And for the light source, they might use a real window light source or something like that. That's it. This is a product. This is a CG product lighting environment. It is an it will be an interior one, and lighting will be just a key lights, two or three area lights. You could fill it. Look at this. It's all about the area lights you put inside. Of course, if you would like to go with the spotlight, you can go with it also, but I prefer to go with the area light. So the entire object will be illuminated. If you want to have any idea or setup, you can just Google it there. You can find all the product lighting, and obviously, man, V-Ray is my favorite. Look at this: a speaker box, a camera. These are V-Ray key lighting techniques. Look at that. They've done this a similar technique like I did in 3ds Max. See, it's in 3ds Max, and cosmetics and everything there. Electronic gadgets, and there are many other electronic gadgets that you could use. Okay. So this is your assignment I wanted for, and do not give too much of light bleach. I mean, which mean there should not be any too much of light on the 3D model. Only if sufficient light has to be applied on the 3D model. Do not go with some extra lights, or do not overexpose the light, and do not let the light destroy the real texture of a 3D model. Like everything looks like a flat white color. Do not do that. The texture of the 3D model has to be preserved. Okay, that's it. You guys have any other questions regarding this?
No doubt, sir.
Okay. Actually, what we do is when you select this stool here, the turntable here, okay, then we have to go to your animation, and under visualize, you have create turntable, create turntable, animation, visualize, create turntable. I go to the create turntable option box, and let me give this as 500 frames turntable. That's it. Now when you play, see that? Either we rotate the background also, okay, or we can remove the background also. So this is what turntable will do. So you can render it like this. If you don't want, you can go to your outliner, then you could delete that also. On top here, we could use to select for easy selection. You can easily set the lights easily if you have a graphical display. This is all for the product lighting part. And there are many other techniques that you could use. Either you could light the product with glass materials also. In many cases, what they do in the studio lighting setup is they will have their own. Just go here. People will be having glasses here. They will be having a glasses here to flatten the light, okay, or to normalize the light. People would use that. Whereas here, since it's a 3D, we can control everything on our own. Okay, so we don't need that.